Hi everyone. Sorry I couldn't make it. The weather's pretty bad up here. I'm in rural America. So anyway, I hope this Prezi presentation works with this app I got on my computer. So just briefly an overview. I'm in a rural school and there's two teachers and there is six students in the class that I've been spending time with. There's one fourth grader, three sixth graders, and two eighth graders. And all of the class, save for two, are siblings. So there's a pretty interesting dynamic up here, and I was able to study with and execute a unit plan on the fourth grade student here. So anyway, we'll get going. Here's just kind of an overview of the contextual factors that I wrote about. The community is about 114 people as of 2010. I couldn't find any newer data. I'm sure that with my husband and I, maybe we're up to 120. Hard saying. Um, Mostly cows, horses, hay is the predominant source of income around here. There is some logging. Let's see, median income is 39,000, and they say that 22% is under the poverty level. But students are always coming well prepared for school. They always have snacks. They're always well dressed. They always have their snow boots. That's a big deal to make sure they have their snow boots. Other than that, the school has a full library. The playground's large, and there's no gym, but there is a lot of commitment to physical activity. Time here, I was able to do a lot of hands-on. I was in the class every day. I was helping every day. First couple days I did a lot of observations, but by the end of that week and progressing into the next week, we'd kind of made a plan. And so I had decided to, with the instructor, or with the help of my mentor, to take on the fourth graders reading unit. So this is just some information on him. So he's the only student in his class, but he is above grade level. And teach times are about 20 to 40 minutes each day. And that's one-on-one every single day, every subject. And this is this student's first year in what they call the big room. So this is fourth through eighth in this class. So one thing that student B needs to be reminded of is just staying on task and being mature as his maturity develops. A few other things that I noticed as I walked in the door here, things that I noticed as I spent more time. It's student B is the youngest in his class, like I've said, but the expectations here are really high. B's learning has been paced and formatted directly to his learning style and abilities, and that goes across the board. Pacing has been slowed or sped up just according to what the student needs. Um, and teach times, which is essentially direct instruction, like your actual lesson, the execution of lessons, are exclusively in direct correlation with the student's learning goals. So when it comes to differentiation, it's questionable whether or not it's differentiation or not, because it's not like you actually have to implement it. It's just what you do. So with that being said, enrichment and extensions are also really, really natural and easy to implement. With that, all that being said, I guess the teacher strategy that I wanted to kind of delve into in my presentation was the fact that there is an enormous amount of one-on-one time at these rural schools. And to me, small class size plus more on one-on-one equals student success. So along with that, there are and were some other goals that we were working on. I really wanted to focus on increasing academic conversation with the student I was working with, just because he was young for his class. And I really tried to focus on encouraging mature talk and really focusing on a higher level of academic discussions. We did a lot of one-on-one discussions about texts we were reading every day, and I would just notice that he would get a little bit off task, but he would kind of try to push me a little bit. So that was something I was working on with him. EWS, this was my instructional objectives. Given guided instruction on comprehension, vocabulary, and daily language practice, students will be able to read and understand nonfiction text and be able to recognize, compare, and contrast patterns in nonfiction text with 85% accuracy as measured by worksheet pre and post test. So this was an objective that I came up with on my own. However, I was given material. I was given a basal reader. He had curriculum all set up. It was up to me what I was going to do to reach those goals outside of the curriculum provided. So I got a lot of opportunity to try new things. Because pretest, like we were discussing, was kind of tricky to implement, but once we did, um, I realized that I was able to kind of build off of that and just kind of go from there throughout the week. Here is the plan. This just was cut out of my TWS, but I just wanted to just show you what I had done. You can see where I did my pretest was the compare and contrast. So I'll show you that paperwork in a minute. And if you look up here, top right, that's the post assessment that was done at the end of the week. We had a lot of enrichment videos to do. I had some extensions that we weren't able to get to due to time, and that's just kind of the way it goes. We just do what we can, and if we can figure out other ways to implement to reach learning goals, then that's what we do. It's pretty flexible, something I can actually really adhere to. So we had a lot of one-on-one discussion, but we also had a lot of opportunity to kind of explore some different learning strategies. Want to mention one thing I was really thankful for being up here is that these students are so forgiving, and if I made a mistake, they really wanted to help you try to figure it out. And it's not like they knew, but they were just, it was so refreshing to be around students, almost painfully willing. So on that note, this is, well, not on that note, but on a note, this is Student B's post-assessment. Throughout the week, we executed some workbook paperwork. Let's see, we did a grammar lesson on preposition houses that he really enjoyed. I did that with the 6th graders. They all did it together, and they had a lot of fun, and I felt like they really learned a lot. And so you can see here, kids are coming back from recess, that he did a lot better on his compare and contrast. We worked through the first couple together, and he came up with a couple more. So that was great. So the main idea, every student starts in the big room at 4th grade, and they're the youngest, and typically there's only 1 or 2. And one thing I like about this is because they learn work ethic really fast. Student B has pretty much within this quarter, within first and second quarter, he has dramatically increased on how his ability to stay on task as a 4th grader, just because he's with an older group of kids, and the expectations are just really high, and that's something I really appreciate. So one thing I think that really assists with this is a really solid teacher-student relationship. These kids have been with the same teacher from 4th grade to 8th grade. They can be paced the way they need to be. She knows what they need, and there's a lot of trust there. I should be cautious when I talk about no differentiation. I think I just want to clarify that. The way I see it is that differentiation happens every day because of how these classes are structured, because there is 6 kids in a class, and typically there's 2 to 3 to a class grade. What you have to differentiate for is dramatically lower. There are a few students on IEPs that have direct accommodations that is also exponentially easier to implement in a school like this, and it's something that I really appreciate. So I just wanted to clarify on that too. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a great Christmas break. Drive safe. And hopefully I'll see you next semester. Toodaloo.